A long battle with cancer over the last few years. Bill was due to turn 90 this upcoming Saturday.
You see Maryland or Michigan starting out in a man-to-man defense. Anytime an on-ball screen, you will see a hard hedge. We'll see if Maryland can take advantage of that, slip some of those screens.
Diamond Miller lost it. A fortuitous shot for Maryland. Going to stay here with 12 on the shot clock. Diamond Miller has dealt with a knee injury this season. Back now, though. Still getting into 40-minute shape, according to Coach Frese. And that time, finding Owusu was Reese for 2.
And what a great job by Owusu reading the defense there. They played the play, and she went backdoor and was able to score.
You see Leah Brown, Danielle Rausch, Maddie Nolan, Emily Kaiser, Naz Hillman, the starting 5 for Michigan.
Maryland was picking up in some extended defensive pressure. Michigan has struggled at times this year and in their matchup a season ago with Maryland, turning the ball over against that pressure.
Maryland 10-1 all time against Michigan as that little floater drops in. Nice adjustment from Leah Brown, averaging 15.5 points per game.
Yeah, she shows so much toughness and is really good at putting the ball on the deck and finding her own shot.
Ashley Owusu, Diamond Miller, Katie Benson, Angel Reese, and Chloe Bibby. The starting 5 for Maryland. They bring back that starting 5 from a season ago. Reese pivoting, gets rejected by Hillman. Just curling it away. Catch, fire, and hit. Maddie Nolan on the triple.
Maddie Nolan shooting 45% from 3 on the season. That's 16th in the country, and that's big. Michigan plays much better when they are able to hit from the outside and give Hillman room to operate on the interior.
And it's something they've done over the last 2 games. Michigan 16 for 30 from 3 as Bibby buries the baseline jumper. But Michigan only 21.8% of their field goal attempts come from 3. It's one of the lowest marks in the country, 314th when you look at Division I.
A direct correlation, though, in their wins and losses is their ability to make the shots from the perimeter.
Take a look at the way Nolan has been lifting the rest of Michigan. Shot clock fading, and Michigan turning it over. Number 1 key from Coach Barnes-Arico was taking care of the basketball. Miller will fire, and hit from 3.
Naz Hillman was out on the closeout on Miller, and there it is, Ryan. There is the defensive pressure that can disrupt so many teams.
Oh, and a nice find. Miller to Owusu, who just flew the bunny. Last 3 games against Maryland, this is just an astonishing number. Michigan with 66 turnovers and just 30 assists. That 3 is good. That time, Leah Brown showing off the stroke. She shot it at 38% from downtown this season. We saw her numbers over the last 6 games, up to 19 points per. Owusu, spinning, stepping back, smooth cash for Ashley Owusu.
She is so good with that little turnaround and fade and has good size for a guard, able to get the shot off even when the defender is right there.
Putting it on the deck, Kaiser. Kaiser gets a friendly roll, an 11-9 lead early for Michigan. Inclement weather has descended upon College Park with a fury. So the crowd may not be as boisterous as it would have been otherwise as Miller gets free to lay it home.
Great job curling off of that screen. The defender got stuck, and an easy 2.
Diamond Miller, going to be one of the top players coming out of the draft when she finally does. Saw her just absolutely shine last season as a sophomore.
She just oozes with talent, right, Ryan? As she takes the shot right there. One of those players, when you're watching her play, your eyes just go right to her.
Yeah, you're like, oh, she's got it.
Yes.
Brenda Frese has talked about the value of not just getting packed diamonds offense, but calling her their best defender and immediately seeing the impact she makes on that end of the floor. But how about Michigan finding great looks early as Kaiser puts in another?
Yeah, really good job on the dribble penetration, and then Kaiser goes up to the free throw line area. That's usually an open spot when you get deep dribble penetration.
Michigan 6 for 6 from the floor and forcing the turnover there. Engagement with the games and the team and the program. So no doubt this is going to be an experience like none other for her on the sideline today.
Yeah, without question. And talking to her this morning, obviously very upset. Will rejoin her family probably tomorrow.
Turning the corner, the layup is good. Michigan has started 7 for 7 from the floor as Layla Filia, the freshman, got that one to drop. 28th recruit in the country this season, and Maryland turns it over. What a start for Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's really trapping on those on-ball screens, but the guard doesn't have the vision to find the open player on the other side of the floor.
Cameron Williams off the bench as well for Michigan. Out there with Kaiser, Brown, as well as Danielle Roush, also coming in off the bench. Kaiser putting on the deck, cutting between two. That's the first Michigan miss of the game. A 9-2 Michigan run and another Maryland turnover. Roush kicking. Filia hitting from three.
And Michigan has been able to get dribble penetration, and then when they've gotten touches in the paint, they've been able to find their open teammates.
That jumper will end a 9-0 Michigan run. Both teams have shot it well. Maryland has turned it over. Filia will fling it back out. Open on the wing, ready to fire. Brown can't hit, long board, going to be gobbled and hugged by Mimi Collins. Bends in off the ball fake, the runner banks off. And the rebound to Roush.
Now, Maryland's style of man-to-man, they'll play a switching man-to-man, they'll overhelp on the weak side. So that pass right there will be open for shots against the overplay.
Filia doesn't get the roll, knocked out of bounds, going to stay here.
It was their first game all season. They've had a full roster. Been missing players at times due to injury or COVID protocols.
I can hear a "so look out for Oregon" in your voice.
Yeah, this is not going to be the same Oregon team in February as we saw in November and December.
Maddie Nolan buries another three.
Really great patience offensively for Michigan, working the ball, using dribble penetration, finding open teammates, making the extra pass. They're playing with really good composure right now.
Nolan, just one of 8 players in a major conference shooting 45% from three on at least 4 attempts, and a nice answer there from Maryland.
And you saw the trap. The trap came, but they were able to see over it and find Sellers open on the other side of the floor.
Cheyenne Sellers, another freshman, 22nd recruit in the nation this season. That's according to the ESPN W100. Another jumper is good. Guess who? Maddie Nolan, 3 for 3 from downtown in the first.
Michigan right now shooting 77%. What a start! Taking pretty good care of the basketball so far and then finding the open teammate.
Miller traveled. And another turnover for Maryland.
Certainly not what I expected. For Maryland to be doubled up on the turnovers over Michigan. It was not that story a season ago.
That three won't go for Amy Dilk. Dilk just returning from a knee injury on January 4th. This is her 4th game back. Coach Barnes-Arico talking about her.
Yeah, as you pointed out at the beginning of the telecast, they don't take very many. But it's been what's open today. Naz Hillman without a field goal attempt. Maryland doing a good job limiting her, but it's left the perimeter open.
Frese? No. Hillman comes flying back for the rebound. Leading the break. Delia finds an angle and then gets denied by Owusu.
Last possession, Maryland posted Ashley Owusu up because she had the advantage inside, but look for her to create here in this last possession.
About a 2-second difference, game and shot clock. Michigan could not have hoped for a better start. Owusu into the paint, barrels in, that's gonna be a charge. That's 3 turnovers for Owusu, 5 for Maryland. 3 seconds left in the quarter. Brown has to get it off. And did not in time. That'll do it for the first.
Players of my generation grew up, and if she was in the gym at an AAU tournament or anywhere you were playing, wow, it made you kind of take your breath away for a second. Pat Summitt's here, the legend.
Can you remember that happening?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Well, the first time, you remember?
I must not have played very well, though, because she didn't recruit me.
That was it.
Yep.
Her loss was Gino's gain, though. Oh, my goodness. Absolute flames from Maddie Nolan. She's 4 of 4 from 3 in this first half.
Not quite a paint touch off the dribble penetration, but close. And every time they've been able to get good looks out of that.
That's already the 6th for Michigan, a team that averages under 5 made threes per game. Team that's playing with a lot of confidence coming off a Sweet 16 run a season ago. Kim Barnes-Arico saying she's sensed that feeling of composure, belonging off of what Michigan did a season ago. Tied for the best start in program history at 14-2 as Bibby knocks down a triple.
Phenomenal defense to offense. Angel Reese played great post defense on the last possession to help get that steal, and then in the secondary, Maryland wants to score quick. The faster the pace of this game is, the better for them, and that might come in transition or in the secondary like we just saw from Bibby.
The Maryland phrase, all gas, no brakes.
That's right.
Last year set a program record for scoring, averaged over 90 points per game. Many had them as a favorite going into the NCAA tournament, but in a muck-it-up game, Texas found a way to knock them off in the Sweet 16. Turnover here, Michigan. Brown didn't have numbers, finds Nolan. Not that time, finally misses from deep. Angel Reese was the #2 recruit in the nation a season ago, behind only Paige Beckers. That 3 a little too strong from Benzin.
Top 20 in the country, I believe.
Yeah, not shabby. Maryland's just so dynamic offensively. Their shooters, their drivers, the athleticism, the way they hit the offensive glass. Bibby, 5 to shoot, tried to force it up, instead redirected it to Collins. And a shot clock violation, more good D from Michigan.
Yeah, terrific defense by Michigan. And they are a big, strong, physical defensive team. And overall, in this first half, they have been able to disrupt, keep it a half-court game for the most part, and make things difficult for Maryland on that end of the floor.
I want to remind you, UConn, Oregon, tomorrow, 5 Eastern on ESPN2. Michigan has turned it over on each of their last 3 possessions. Brown gets it off to Hillman. Shot clock down to 5. Kaiser doubled, kicks it out. Deep 3. Short from Brown. Long board. Nice little touch by Hillman.
Hillman's been really active. She's been active on the glass. She's been active defensively. She hasn't scored, but she has had a presence here on the floor.
Corner 3. Rims off. And the rebound secured that time by Mimi Collins.
But the corner 3 was open because of the screen from Hillman. Again, you don't need to be getting touches. You don't need to be scoring to have a positive impact for your team.
Yeah, Hillman yet to score, but making that positive impact. Hillman, of course, had a 50-point game a season ago at Ohio State, and wrestled away by Roush. Michigan basketball. Hillman turns, and now she scored. Timeout, Maryland. We talked about Michigan's numbers as a team over the last couple of games. 16 for their last 30 from 3 over the last 2 games entering today. And continuing that trend as Maryland turns it over again. And Rebecca, when Maryland's gotten a shot, they've been efficient, but they have just turned it over so often in this first half. And
I attribute so much of that to Michigan's defense. They make things very hard for you, and you see the difference from Maryland in the games where they've won and the ones where they lost. And the difference in points per game can be attributed some to turnovers, but also to the pace of play. Keep an eye on that as the game continues to go.
Some good looks, but no cash for Michigan to strip down the floor. Maryland with 4 turnovers and no points in the last 3.5 minutes plus. And another turnover. Hillman comes up with a steal. Needs some help. Gets it across. That's 10 Maryland turnovers. Roush gets it back out. Here's Brown looking to set up Hillman. Oh, nice way to find it into Hillman. She couldn't finish. Another chance here. Brown thought about it, but did not pull from 3. She's perfectly capable from that distance. Roush gets it back into Kaiser. 8 to shoot. Lining it up is Roush. She got it. On a 3. It's a 15-point Wolverine lead. They've held Maryland to 19 points thus far.
And so vital on that possession was Leah Brown's decision not to take the 3 right off of the offensive rebound. When Indiana beat Maryland this year, they did a phenomenal job, took the air out of the ball a little bit, used the shot clock, did not let it become a fast-paced game. That is one of the recipes, or the ingredients in the recipe of beating Maryland.
Little wild attempt there from Frese. Maryland is 1-4 against ranked opponents this season, 11-0 against unranked. Hillman gets it to Kaiser, good movement here. Roush attacks the closeout, flips it back out. That 3 won't go for Nolan, maybe experiencing a regression to the mean, but another chance here for Michigan.
Again, notice the pace, the patience.
Good dig there, and the steal eventually comes after Cheyenne Sellers got the initial deflection. Owusu tosses out, and a foul called.
You got to tap to get to your sport, tap to get to the game, and then tap to watch it, which is phenomenal technology, but we don't need to misguide folks.
I think you're going to get a call about that one.
I might. I love the app, but it's 3 taps.
Collins couldn't hit the jumper. Oh, nice find on the cut, but it traveled.
You need to score so that you can set up your pressure and try to get this pace increased. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's not going to help. Have scored less than 20 points thus far in this half. 11 turnovers, too. And look, they averaged the 4th fewest turnovers in Division I. This is not part of their pedigree. Nolan got it off, couldn't put it in. Rebecca Lobo may be involved. Kevin Connors in the studio. That's an airball 3 collected by Filia. Ryan Rucco, Rebecca Lobo with you. Appreciate you hanging out with us on a Sunday evening. Kaiser gets fouled. You know, it was interesting talking to Brenda Frese before the game about how do you handle teams that can muck it up and try and slow your pace. She said, #1 key for us is assist to turnover ratio. And That has been a massive issue in this first half against the Michigan team that, yeah, they want to slow it down.
And especially when it's a team who's using the shot clock, you have to finish the defensive possession. You cannot give up an offensive board.
We saw the difference when it comes to the offensive glass thus far in this first half. That was a key for Coach Barnes-Arico, and that's going to be a charge and turnover.
Only 2 field goal attempts, but she has impacted this game.
Maryland 1 for 7 from the floor in this second quarter. Inside of a minute to play in the half. Hillman sets the screen. 2 to shoot. Brown gets it off, can't squeeze it in. Nice job by Bibby to secure the rebound. 2-on-1 on the other end. Reese waited far too long, and that's going to be off of Miller. And Angel Reese just waited way too long. She had Diamond Miller up ahead for an easy layup. Ten-second difference game in shot clock. What a sparkling half from Michigan. Nice hands there from Reese.
Look at Hillman.
Hillman sprinting back, coming up with a rejection. Hands in, 5 seconds left. Floats it out to Reese. 2 seconds, Reese misses the layup, and that will do it for the first half.
Speed the game up so that they can get easier looks going the other way.
Michigan struggled offensively in that second quarter themselves. They were 3 for 14 with 7 turnovers. Otherwise, you might have had a much wider margin. And we know Maryland can score in a hurry as Bibby can't hit the 3. Weak side rebound, snared by Hillman. Nice entry feed. Kaiser got stood up. Loose ball. Going to be a held ball, and the possession arrow belongs to the Wolverines.
Really good job by Ashley Owusu that time on the weak side to come in and make sure that didn't turn into an easy 2 for Kaiser. You're trying to pick up your energy and increase your focus. You do it by communicating with your teammates, and you do it on the defensive end of the floor.
But Angel Reese did not score in that first half. Player averaging over 18 per game. Brown raises up and finishes.
That time she got by her primary defender, and it was Benzin who was there to help, but she's just too small. So Brown was able to easily elevate and shoot over her.
Benzin is swinging around. It's been coming on 10 minutes since Maryland scored. Reese, no. Loose ball. Miller gets fouled. And Maryland will have a chance to end this 10-minute scoring drought at the line.
First free throw attempt of the game. First free throw attempt of the game. And this is a Maryland team that usually puts a lot of pressure on the defense and makes them foul you in the paint, puts them at the free throw line.
And only 1 free throw from Michigan.
No wonder that first half went so quickly.
Yeah, it's why people watching this game who had plans at 6:43 were feeling optimistic.
How do you make plans at 6:43, right?
I don't know. Some people may have odd sleep training schedules. I'm not sure. With an infant, this is how I think about things now, Rebecca.
Yes, it is.
So the drought ends at the line there for Miller. 15-point Michigan lead. Brown, shot clock fading. Oh, what a move by Brown. She flips it in after a beautiful fake.
I wish I had been keeping track from the beginning of this game how often Michigan took a shot outside of 10 seconds on the shot clock, because it has not been very often. They've done a terrific job being deliberate.
Reese backs in, cups up, and gets the roll.
But you can't play 2 for 2, right? You're down 15. You got to get some stops on the defensive end.
And if they do, Rebecca, it can change in a hurry with how explosive Maryland is.
Number one key, Michigan, take care of the basketball. Number two, continue to be slow and deliberate offensively.
Kaiser kicks it out. Another three is good. Maddie Nolan's 5th triple of the day.
You know how demoralizing it is defensively to work your tail off for 20 seconds and then give up an open three? Very.
I was going to say I haven't experienced that since CYO, but I was going to guess very demoralizing.
Very demoralizing.
You know, Mike Corey's on site for us today and caught up with Kim Barnes-Arico at the half. As another three is good for Maddie Nolan. Her 6th triple of the game, 18 points. She's sending the Michigan bench into a tizzy. It's a 21-point Wolverine lead. He talked to Coach Barnes-Arico. One of the things she said was, we did a great job of creating open shots from 3, especially finding Maddie Nolan, who got hot.
She's a good one to find right now.
Brown cuts in, fades away, and finishes. It is all Michigan. Doubling up Maryland. She talked about what a dynamic scorer she is, how she passes well, how she keeps improving, but she said above all else, she is just such a competitor and just glowed about the way that Brown competes on a consistent basis. As a whistle here is going to go against Diamond Miller. You know, Rebecca, also important to keep in mind that Maryland as a team, I'm sure competing with very heavy hearts today after Brenda Frese lost her father, Bill, earlier this morning following a long battle with cancer. He has been a huge part of this program, so engaged with this team, and I'm sure that beyond Brenda, everybody in a Maryland uniform feeling that loss today.
Yeah, without question. Everyone playing with heavy hearts, and that certainly takes a physical toll as well.
We saw Brenda's husband, Mark, and sons, Marcus and Tyler, earlier. They are at the game today. Roush turns the corner, can't finish it. The putback won't go from Kaiser. Nothing hit rim. So that's going to be a shot clock violation.
Yes, they had to hit a little bit of the rim, and then they would have been fine.
Just a teeny bit. There is Mark with his sons sitting with him. Catching the action today as Maryland has really struggled against Michigan. A 46-23 lead for Michigan. Michigan trying to get its first ever win at Maryland. Maryland 10-1 all time in a matchups between these teams.
And excellent defensively. We've been talking about that for Michigan, but they're finishing the plays. Only 4 offensive rebounds in this game so far for Maryland, and they make their living there. Ever since her minutes have increased because of the injury to others.
They're starting to find some things without Paige Beckers, Rebecca?
They certainly are, yeah. It's a team that feels like they're finding their new identity. Eager to see what it looks like against Oregon.
Miller swoops in, can't finish. Wanted a whistle, didn't get it. Off and running. Here's Filia. Roush attacks the closeout, floats it up and off. Hillman there for the putback.
Perhaps the first shot of the second half that came with more than 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And they get the offensive board and still making Maryland pay.
A 10-0 Michigan run. They are just totally dominating Maryland thus far today. Shot clock fading. Benzin's runner, and a whistle. Katie Benzin is going to shoot 2. Obviously, Martin Luther King Jr.'s contributions to our world cannot be overstated, and really cool to see the creativity from Emily Kaiser and the Michigan team as they support Dr. King today.
Yeah, what a beautifully done shirt.
23-point Michigan lead. This game was tied at 11. And Michigan has outscored Maryland 37-14 since. It's astonishing to look at the clock and see 4 minutes to go in the third quarter and just 25 points for Maryland's juggernaut offense. Shot clock fading here. Felia gets it off and gets it to go.
It's just been that kind of day for Michigan. Shot clock going down. That's a tough off-balance shot with the defender right there.
Michigan shooting 50% as a team. Rebecca, you've talked about it. When Maryland can't get out and run, sometimes that causes problems for them.
Yeah, they're so good when they can be fueled and they're out in transition and they can play fast. But Michigan has been physical and they've made it difficult. And for the most part, they've kept Maryland from doing this, which is getting to the offensive glass. Maryland is an outstanding offensive rebounding team. Down here, shot clock going down. That's okay, that's okay. I mean, that is a tough shot. It's just been that kind of day for Michigan. Bench is celebrating, but we typically see Maryland get to the offensive glass a ton. I mean, Angel Reese leads the nation, over 5 offensive boards a game. Maryland has 5 as a team so far in this game.
Reese hits both free throws. She's 1 of 8 from the floor. 4 points now for Reese. You see the difference for Maryland versus ranked teams like Michigan, 1 and 4, just 65 points per game. Against unranked, 11 and 0, 91.5 points per game.
And I asked Brenda Frese this morning how important it was in terms of tempo and playing fast. And she said, yes, that's important. She said, but when we get into these half-court games, we have to be able to get stops. And that's one thing they have not been able to do at all consistently in this game.
Roush in at the 3, shot clock violation. Getting a stop there is Maryland. And one of the other things Brenda Frese talked about, she said, you know, I feel like we're still in non-conference form, just getting Diamond back, finally getting the group back together as a whole, trying to get the flow. Felt like they were trending up. Obviously, they have not today. Foul is going to be on the floor here against Michigan.
Yeah, when you think about it, you know, they were missing some players in the early season tournaments because of health and safety reasons. Diamond Miller missed much of the early part of the season because of injury. She's still coming back, still trying to get into 40-minute form, as Brenda Frese says. So, yeah, they're not a team that has completely found their groove. And, you know, today, as you said, is a clear example.
Knocked out of bounds by Rout. So far tonight, just 27. That home winning streak in serious jeopardy. Longest active streak in Division I. And Benzin hits a much needed 3. Now a steal. Benzin trying to call a timeout. It's 30, Michigan in front, 2:31 to go in the third. Miller sets up Reese. Reese unable to finish, gets it back, and again can't put it on.
That was great team defense and great gang rebounding by Michigan.
Roush goes cross court. You know who? Nolan can't hit the 3 that time. Already 6 triples in the game for Maddie Nolan. Miller, nice ball fake, swoops in, just couldn't finish it. Oh, Brown, the seas parted.
I think the seas may have parted because of a Naz Hillman screen.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it will.
Title win.
I wouldn't mind Naz Hillman screening for me to help me get open.
15 for Leah Brown. Reese airmails it out of bounds. Michigan basketball. 52-30, Michigan in front.
We talk about what Naz Hillman does, and right here, posting. All right, just holds the defender off so that Leah Brown can get the clear lane to the basket. It's little things like that. You don't get credit for them, but man, your teammates and coaches certainly appreciate them.
Kim Barnes-Arico talking about Naz Hillman to us said, you know, she's just so wonderful to be around. She's so positive. Her personality is so infectious that before you even get to all the great things she does as a player, just her presence and what it means to the team, as Hillman follows it up and puts it home.
And that makes a difference. If your best player is a player that her teammates love, it makes them want to play even harder for her.
Coach Barnes-Arico used the phrase, she's just good vibes.
I know how you like your good vibes, Ryan.
Amen.
Man, those 50-50 balls, almost every single one of them going to Michigan.
Shot clock turned off. 24-point Michigan lead. They have never won at Maryland, and the Terps have won 31 straight home games. Four seconds left in the quarter. Brown racing in, gets it off, can't finish it. That'll do it for the third.
A well-balanced attack, and they get it done on the defensive end of the floor, and they are an outstanding offensive rebounding team. Bit of a surprise. I did not expect Tennessee to be as good as they are this year.
Miller comes up with a steal to begin the fourth quarter, leading Collins, who gets fouled, and Mimi Collins is going to go to the line to shoot two. Maryland scored 16 points in the first quarter. They scored 14 combined between the second and third. They've missed 21 of their last 23 shots after starting 8 for 14 from the floor.
Still zero fast break points. And credit Michigan for that.
Yeah.
For not turning it over, not having live ball turnovers.
I mean, Rebecca, just what you've seen from Michigan thus far this season, after going to the Sweet 16 last year, a 14-2 start, the performance thus far here today. What kind of things are you starting to think about the Wolverines as Benzin nearly came up with a steal?
They continue to surprise me. They just continues to raise the level of their toughness. Defensively, they're very hard to go against. We've seen today how disciplined they've been offensively. It seems this year, in terms of wins and losses, it's a matter of can they get their perimeter game going to complement their bigs inside.
Benzin comes up with a steal. Second turnover for Michigan in the first 45 seconds of this fourth. And remember, Maryland can overcome deficits. As Collins can't finish, Owusu gets denied. Loose ball, kicked out of bounds, last hit Maryland. Michigan a 54-32 lead on Maryland as Hillman hits the second free throw. In the corner, the three is good for Chloe Bibby, shooting it at just 28% from three this season. 31 straight home wins for Maryland, second longest active Division I streak. And a whistle, a timeout taken, highest in school history. First ever win against a top 5 opponent, and they are closing in on their first ever win at Maryland. Offensive foul there. Maryland defense has been better here in this fourth, but it's just a big hole to climb out of.
Yeah, and even though they've been solid defensively, they haven't gotten anything that leads to easy and quick buckets the other way. And to get your teeth into this kind of a deficit, that's what you need, some quick turnovers into scores.
Maryland just 3 for 19 from the floor in this second half. Benzin getting it over to Miller. Miller, the crossover, the shovel. Collins able to flip it in.
I love watching Miller. She is so smooth and so good, and keep her healthy. She's going to be a fantastic pro player.
On the drive, Nolan couldn't finish, but Hillman can.
Someone from Maryland said, get that stuff, and before she could say out of here, Michigan said, nope, I'm just going to clean it up and get 2.
12 offensive rebounds for Michigan in this game. Hillman has 6 of them. She has 9 points, 8 boards, a couple of blocks. Michigan a +8 in second chance points. Maryland has protected the basketball better in this second half. I mean, that's an understatement. They had 13 first half turnovers. They have just 1 in the second half. But those turnovers were gasoline to the Michigan engine in the first half. And there you go. There's another one on the field. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, it's noticeable too that Ashley Owusu, 23 minutes so far in this game, been on the bench for a little while.
Just 4 points. Owusu without an assist in this game.
And in games where Maryland has struggled this year, that's been the case. She's had a negative assist to turnover ratio, whereas in the games where Maryland's winning, she has a 2-to-1.
Would you like to hear the numbers, Rebecca?
Yeah, give them to me.
In wins, 58 assists, 16 turnovers for Owusu. In losses, 10 assists, 18 turnovers. And tonight, no assists and 3 turnovers. And boom, there you have it.
I like hearing the numbers and then seeing the numbers.
Well, you know, we have Harris Fabershoff. He's,
I mean, the best.
the best. Hall of Fame caliber graphic coordinator. Shot clock fading here. And a foul call. That's going to be a charge on Kaiser. So another turnover here in this fourth quarter against Michigan.
Dead ball turnover, and with what, 2 seconds left on the shot clock?
Right.
Right now, your #1 priority if you're Michigan is using the clock.
They're doing that.
They certainly are.
Miller checks out. 7 points, just 2 of 6 from the floor for Diamond Miller. Maryland doesn't have a player who's scored more than 7. Miller and Bibby with 7 apiece. The only players in double figures in this game, Maddie Nolan with 18 and Leah Brown with 15.
A Maryland team that has 5 players who average double figures.
Filia had the shot there, but she realized, you know what, let's wait. Nolan not waiting, and that's why. 7-3 for Maddie Nolan.
Now, Michigan, they can trade baskets. Again, just being deliberate, smart overall.
Stripped away by Collins. She'll lay it in. First transition.
Oh, no. What, 3rd and 4th fast break points of the game, or are those the first 2?
I believe 3rd and 4th. And nearly another turnover. Michigan has gotten sloppy in this 4th as Maryland has turned up the intensity, but they just don't have a lot of time left. Down 20 with 4:43 to go. Delia gets it across against the pressure, finds Nolan. Michigan's going to run some clock here. Under 4:30 to go. Maryland's 31-game home winning streak in danger. Delia on the attack, lays it in, plus the foul. How about Layla Filia, the freshman guard from Cincinnati? Big time contributor. She's really impressed today.
Yeah, she's done a nice job. She played well in their game against Baylor as well. A player who can handle the ball, who can attack the basket.
The number 28 recruit this season. Added on to a Michigan team coming back with big goals after its first ever Sweet 16 trip a season ago. And a foul called against Maryland. The only Division I team with a longer home winning streak than Maryland, Stephen F. Austin, 33 straight home wins. Nice entry feed and the finish from Cameron Williams. Bibby, short, rebound. Felia blasting to the bucket. She gets fouled. Big time applause from her bench.
7 of 11 from 3, 0 for 2 from 2. Stay out behind the three-point arc, young lady.
What I love is Maddie broke her mother's all-time scoring record at her high school at Zionville. Just incredible. Over 1,300 points.
How cool that is for a mom to be able to watch their child perform like that, right?
Amazing.
What a game. What a game by her. Setting the tone too early. We're unafraid. We're in hostile territory. Never won here before, but that's all right. I'm just going to step out and hit a bunch of threes.
And it did seem like that really relaxed Michigan. It loosened things up, and they were able to play with confidence as Hillman checks out. Big time gritty performance from Hillman at 9 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of blocks, just did a little bit of everything.
The Big Ten feature did a phenomenal half-hour feature on Naz Hillman.
A very engaged member of this Maryland basketball community, and certainly a loss that her entire team, I'm sure, is feeling today. It's the second free throw. Under 3 minutes to go. It's all cosmetic at this point. Miller, nice find, and Reese.
Too many layups, and getting a little bit more efficient in there is going to be a step for her in her progress.
She's 2 for 13 from the floor in this game.
And that was one of the rare easy looks inside too for Reese, because Michigan's gone to a zone. These last couple of minutes, they're just going to ride it out in a zone. But that's the reason that Maryland was finally able to get an open look at the basket.
Good hands from Felia, who continues to impress. And Felia wisely is going to back it out, run some clock. Felia turns the corner, couldn't get it to go high off the window, but a foul going to stay here. Reese one-hands the rebound. Maybe lightning to sludge.
Okay, we'll take that.
It is storming in Maryland right now.
It sure is.
With the way they've played this season. Obviously, this is a statement win today at Maryland. Who is a team who you think, we'll exclude Michigan from the conversation if you like, but who's a team who you think could be a national championship contender that maybe wouldn't be at the top of mind for most people or the top of lists?
I think a team that has real Final Four potential is Iowa State. They've got, I think they still lead the nation in three-pointers made per game. They've got a variety of weapons. Ashley Jones is phenomenal, one of the top players in the country. They play gritty, tough defense. That's a team that if they made it to the Final Four, I would not be all that surprised.
Delia, does he get the roll? Good answer.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'll just ask you for some more weather analogies.
Perfect. At the same time, Rebecca, I'd also say there's probably some things to learn from an opponent like this, like what we saw against Texas in the Sweet 16 last year, that Maryland still has to work out when they can't get out and run?
Yeah, it's similar to when they lost Indiana in overtime. Indiana completely controlled the pace of that one. That is one thing Maryland needs to figure out.
Face-up jumper won't go. The follow is good. Slight difference, game and shot clock. Catch and fire from the perimeter. That three is good for Kozlova. Final 15 seconds at Maryland. The Michigan Wolverines have ended Maryland's 31-game home winning streak.